Hi again, everyone. It is Nurse Mo, and welcome back to the Straight A Nursing Podcast. This is episode 165, and today we're diving into something that is so important. It's a shift that you can make that really does make a giant world of difference. And what I'm talking about is negative self-talk. So before we dive into this topic, which is one of my favorite things to talk about, I do want to take a moment for our shout out. And this one goes to Angela, who took the time to write this very thoughtful bit of feedback about Crucial Concepts Bootcamp, which is my nursing school prep course. So Angela writes, taking Nurse Mo's Crucial Concept Bootcamp program online prior to year one of my nursing program allowed me to begin preparing early for my nursing school journey. I entered into year one with more confidence, and I had a good understanding of a lot of the basic concepts we would be covering. If you are just starting out in nursing school, I would highly recommend taking this course. And best of all, you have lifetime access that includes any upgrades Nurse Mo adds to the program. I'm well into year two, and I still come back to review pieces of certain modules. Nurse Mo is one of those nurses that motivates, inspires, and guides you through nursing school. She has most definitely been one of my greatest mentors. Thank you so much, Angela, for taking the time out of your busy schedule to send me that feedback. It means the world to me to know that I have made even the smallest bit of a difference in your nursing school journey. Okay, you guys, if you're intrigued by Crucial Concepts Bootcamp, I want you to know it's on sale now. Link is in the show notes, and I'll talk about all of this some more at the end, but I really want to just get to the topic today because I love talking about this so much. So there's this book that I read a few years ago, and it's called What to Say When You Talk to Yourself, and it's by Dr. Shad Helmstetter. And in this book, he explains the concept of neuroplasticity and how the brain develops pathways based on repetition. And you might be saying, how does this apply to nursing students? So that is a fantastic question. What I see happening over and over and over again is that nursing students start their programs already believing that nursing school is going to be this insurmountable, completely, nearly, totally impossible task, that they have a high chance of failing, that they'll be outrageously lucky if they even pass, and that it's going to be a horrible experience that takes over their life and leaves no room for joy. So I blame a lot of this on the negative social media posts that run rampant, you guys. There's memes upon memes, and while they're funny, they're all very negative, right? You know, talking about how you have no life and this and that. The real truth is, yes, nursing school is very challenging, but so are a lot of things in life, right? Challenging does not mean impossible. So when you start off by saying things like, nursing school is going to be really hard for me, or saying things like, I'm bad at math, knowing that you have to do dosage calculations, you might be really afraid of that and say, I'm bad at math. Or maybe you say, I don't know how to study. Then guess what happens? Nursing school will be really hard for you. You will be bad at dosage calculations, and you will struggle with finding that perfect, most correct way for you to study. And this is because of neuroplasticity. With repetition, like these negative statements that you say when you talk to yourself, with that repetition, your brain develops a pathway that makes these statements easier and easier to say over time. And then as they get easier and easier to say over time, guess what? They become easier and easier to believe over time as well. And because our brains are amazing, they're always looking for ways to be super efficient because they have a lot of jobs to do, right? So the brain's going to look for ways to be efficient. So it's going to follow pathways that are already developed. So you'll not only believe these statements, your actions will follow your beliefs. What you say becomes what you believe becomes what you do. So let's look at this using a scenario of student A, who we'll call Alice, and student B, who we'll call Bob. So Alice has always hated math. She took the bare minimum math requirements in high school and even in her first undergraduate degree. She tells herself all the time, "I'm not a numbers person," and firmly believes the statement, "I am bad at math." She knows she has to pass a dosage calculations exam for nursing school and fears she will fail. Bob has struggled with math in the past as well, but knows he needs to master dosage calculations in order to be successful in nursing school. Bob is open to having a different perspective about math. Bob says, "I am going to learn how to do dosage calculations." So just from this very, very basic scenario, which student do you think is going to struggle more with dosage calculations? If you selected Alice, you get a gold star. So Alice, bless her heart, she has set herself up for failure before she even starts, before she even learns how to do dosage calculations. She already believes it's going to be difficult. Her brain has made a very well-defined pathway that says, "I am bad at math." And it's going to follow that pathway no matter what. And though Bob did have a negative perception around math in the past, he has decided he's not going to let that stop him from reaching his goals. He's developing a new pathway that says, "I am going to learn how to do this." As he repeats this statement, his brain develops a pathway and then his beliefs follow. And what he believes becomes what he does. And that, my friends, is why Bob is going to ace dosage calculations and Alice is going to struggle. She's going to feel self-doubt and start her nursing school education with a negative and very stressful experience. So this topic of negative self-talk comes up a lot in my Crucial Concepts bootcamp. And I was speaking about it in an office hours session that we have. And one of the participants in that session, a first semester student named Amber, really took this concept to heart. Now, Amber had always believed that she was bad at math and that medication math or dosage calculations was going to be the reason she failed nursing school. She was about to start the program already believing that she was going to fail. So talk about, what is that, unempowering? I guess that would be the opposite of empowering. That would be the definition of it, right? So after we talked about this and we talked about neuroplasticity of the brain, and we talked about how negative self-talk becomes a pathway that your brain is more than willing to follow, Amber went right to work on developing a new pathway. So instead of saying, "I'm bad at math," which is what she had always said and always believed, Amber started saying this. She started saying, My brain is open to learning math. My brain knows this is hard, but I am practicing and feeling more confident every day. So Amber wrote this empowering statement and true statement, by the way, and she taped it to her computer where she could see it and repeat it every single day, sometimes multiple times a day. So after she started doing that, school started, and then Amber took the time to reach out to me about midway through her first semester to tell me this. She said, I have been getting excellent grades my first semester and have so much confidence in my ability. So you guys, she went from, I am bad at this, and being really afraid, genuinely fearful that she was going to fail because of this math fear, to getting excellent grades and having massive amounts of confidence in her ability. Like, that's an incredible transformation. And no, she did not suddenly become a math genius. She simply changed the way she talked to herself about math. She took a negative statement and reframed it into a positive one. And that's it. So, how do we reframe our negative statements? This is key, you guys. You can't just say the opposite of whatever your negative statement is, right? Notice that Amber's reframed statement wasn't, I'm great at math, because that's probably not true for her. She's probably always struggled with math, and to suddenly start saying, I am a math genius, that's not believable, okay? Her brain is going to have a hard time believing that because it's simply not true. It's going to have a struggle making a solid pathway along those lines. So you make a true statement. So Amber's true statement was believable. She said, my brain is open to learning how to do math. Okay, that's a true statement. My brain knows this is hard. Yep, that's a true statement. But I am practicing. If you are actually practicing, then yes, that is a true statement, and getting better every day. And guess what? With practice and the right mindset, you are getting better every day. So every single part of her statement was absolutely true. That statement was something she could believe, she could say. Her brain was able to make a solid pathway along those lines. And over time, that pathway led to her getting excellent grades and having that amazing confidence. That must feel so, so good. What she said became what she believed and became what she did. It became what actually happened. And the absolute same can happen for you. So let's do a little exercise together. If you're driving, make note to do this when you can, okay? But don't do this while you're driving. Safety first, you guys. Okay, get a piece of paper, and I want you to jot down one negative statement that you say to yourself about nursing school and your abilities to succeed in that environment. So here are some common ones to get you thinking if you're having trouble, okay? I am bad at math. That's a super common one. I am not a good test taker. I struggle with pathophysiology or anatomy and physiology or whatever that topic is. Pharmacology is impossible. Okay, I think every student might say that at one time or another. I hope not over and over again. Clinicals cause me anxiety. I'm a terrible parent because I don't see my kids enough. Okay, that's a huge one. I am going to fail. Or nursing school is overwhelming. Okay, those are all really common things that I see students saying all the time. Now let's take a look. So pick your statement if it's one of those or something unique just to you. Pick your statement. And now we're going to look at how we could reframe that into something that is true and believable. So for inspiration, I'll give you a few examples. But remember, The statement has to be something you can believe, okay? It has to be the truth. So if you're saying, I am bad at math, perhaps your reframed statement is something along the lines of, I can learn how to do dosage calculations. I feel more confident the more I practice. I feel like that could be a true statement for anyone who has math anxiety. How about if your statement is, I am not a good test taker? And yes, a lot of students struggle with test taking. Maybe they have a learning disability. Maybe they have test anxiety. There are a lot of reasons why tests are going to be challenging, but let's reframe that. Maybe we could say something as simple as, I am studying hard and I am learning this material. Or, I am reading each test question slowly, underlining keywords and thinking through all the options. That practice alone can make you a better test taker. How about if you say, I struggle with pharmacology, or pharmacology is impossible? Then you say, pharmacology is a challenging class, so I am focusing on learning the drug classes really well. And that would be a smart way to study for pharmacology, by the way. Learn those drug classes. If you have a class like patho that's really hard, maybe your statement is, pathophysiology is difficult and there's a lot to learn, but I am breaking it down into manageable concepts. Those are true statements. You can believe that. You can do that. If your negative statement is something about clinicals making you anxious, perhaps your reframe could be something like, it's normal to feel nervous or anxious in clinicals. When I feel anxious, I will take 10 deep breaths and remind myself that I'm a student and here to learn. Okay, that's a beautiful way to approach clinicals. Take some deep breaths and give yourself some grace. You're there to learn, okay? What about this one? And this one's huge, you guys. I could probably talk about this for an hour. I'm a terrible parent because I don't see my kids enough. So many parents in nursing school have this guilt because it does take up a lot of the time that you would normally love to give to your family. So you need to reframe that because the parent guilt can be debilitating. So maybe you say something like, I am setting an example of hard work and determination for my children. That's a true statement, and that's empowering and inspirational, okay? What about if you're simply saying, I am going to fail? A lot of students just start off believing they are going to fail. Your reframe could be something like, I am working hard and I am passing my classes. Okay, simple, short, sweet, to the point. And then what about the overwhelm message? Nursing school is overwhelming. Nursing school is taking over my life. You could reframe it into something like, nursing school may be tough, but I'm going to take on each challenge one at a time. And you guys can do that. You can take on one challenge at a time, okay? You might take on one challenge for 10 minutes and then 10 minutes later have another one, but you can do one challenge at a time. So do you see how easy and how empowering that is? So I want you to take your reframed statement, whatever it is, and put it somewhere visible where you can see it every single day. Make it the wallpaper image on your computer, tape it to the bathroom mirror, put it on a Post-it note, put it in your planner, wherever. Say it, see it, repeat it, believe it, do it. Okay, those are your action steps. I want you to do those things. Give it a try. Give it like 2 weeks. See how it feels, and then send me an email or send me a DM on social media and let me know how it changes you, because I guarantee you that it will. Okay, you guys, so I mentioned my boot camp earlier, and I want to just follow up a little bit with that because some of you may not have heard about it just yet, and it is on sale right now. It's on sale until August 15th of this year, and then it goes on sale again on Black Friday. So don't worry if you miss out on this sale. It is still available in between the sales, but the sales are fun because there's obviously a discount, pretty good discount, and there's some fun bonuses. So if you use the promo code Future Nurse, that's all one word, by August 15th, 2021, I believe at 9 p.m. Pacific, you will get 20% discount. Hey, yo, that's a good one. And you will get a free electrolytes study guide and a free 2-week trial of Beyond Bootcamp. And Beyond Bootcamp is my program that goes into disease conditions and talks about the basics, the kind of the details around that. Whereas Crucial Concepts Bootcamp is broad foundational concepts that set you up for nursing school success. So in the first module, it's called Talk Like a Nurse. You learn medical terminology, language, how to get report, how to give report, how to call a physician with your concerns, how to write certain types of nursing notes, things like that, like all the communication type things. And then the second module is Think Like a Nurse, and we dive into critical thinking, clinical judgment, that sort of thing. That's a really big leap for students to take. So if you can go into nursing school already kind of having that in the back of your mind, that thinking like a nurse is a completely different way of thinking than you're used to, you'll adjust so much more quickly. And then the next module is Act Like a Nurse. It's all about my best tips for clinical, all those types of things. And then we get into dosage calculations, anatomy and physiology review, organizational systems, how to study, how to decipher NCLEX questions, what a nursing diagnosis is. There's so much, and it's all this core foundation knowledge. So if you're interested in that, there's a link in the episode notes, or you can always shoot me a message on social or send me an email, hello@straightanursingstudent.com. I'd be happy to chat with you about it. You can go to the website, the link that I'm going to provide, and see dozens, maybe hundreds. There's a whole bunch of testimonials from students who have had great success, walked into their first day feeling in charge, on top of things, capable, strong, organized, competent, excited, and not overwhelmed, nervous, scared, all of those things that we don't want. Okay, you guys, so that's my spiel about that. Next week, we are talking about some of my best tips for how to study for your Med-Surg course. Your Med-Surg course is the meat and potatoes, right, of nursing school. It's where you learn how to take care of patients with various disease conditions. And it's a substantial class. It's the best class. I loved it. But it's also a lot, and I want you to have a little bit of a head start. So I'm going to share with you some of my best tips for how to tackle your Med-Surg class. So I will see you back here next week for that. Bye for now. This podcast is brought to you by Straight A Nursing.